Welcome back to week 3 of our At the Bar series with Marcella Davis from Real People Equity. We're going to get into some of the meat around what you do this week, which is great. Starting with conscious leadership. What is it?
I am a big, strong believer in self-awareness, and I think that is when I talk about conscious leadership, that's what it is. It's active listening and self-awareness. And I think for someone in a key leadership role, particularly like a CEO who sets the tone, having an awareness of your presence, of what you say and how you say it, and the impact that it has on people is a very powerful thing. And I think if you don't realise it, and that's what I mean about consciousness, if you don't realise that in that moment, then one, you can miss the opportunity to make a real impact on your team or on yourself, and secondly, you're actually not going to get the desired outcome.
It's a valid point as well, because I think a lot of small business owners growing into SMEs and large enterprise, as they grow very quickly, you focus on the objectives, you focus on the tasks. I found for myself as well, it is actually easy to forget that your role has changed and your position in the company has completely transformed, and you may not have transformed with it.
And that's a difficult thing, I think, for many businesses, for many business owners, to go from the doer to leading.
And do you find that in larger organisations still the problem?
Absolutely. And I think that sometimes people are promoted into positions because of established experience, but that whole investment into leadership it's a really interesting one. It still goes begging, so hence where we come in.
And another word I haven't, or phrase I haven't heard before, strategic infiltration.
Yeah. I own that one. I had a client say to me once, that's what you do, Marcella. You infiltrate a business, and that's a big part of how I establish a relationship. So really go in, and when I say infiltrate, I mean go to the core of business, and to be able to come back out and strategically look at where it is that they actually need to address opportunities. So it's like a deep dive in with a quick exit out to be able to give recommendations.
TM at the end.
Yeah,
I like it.
Nice.
So if businesses don't change, if businesses don't evolve, they die.
Yes.
Change management is a huge area that most businesses overlook.
Yes.
What do you think are some of the key challenges in change and making change?
I think resistance. I think it scares people, it scares businesses, particularly those that are very successful. I find that those businesses end up doing something different when they've peaked, and all you can do is sort of topple over when that happens. Wonderfully successful businesses start shifting and changing as they're rising, and I think that's, there's something in that, to be able to start looking at evolving, not revolutionising things, but just evolving. I think the other challenges with change is being able to communicate the purpose, explain the why. For people, they're not going to necessarily always agree, but at least if they understand why, they can make choices.
So it almost comes back to that baked beans on the shelf conversation earlier on.
It's such a direct link with communication, and really understanding purpose. Goes back to what we were saying earlier.
So I suppose if you can drive that purpose from the beginning and help people understand change, do you think the communication down, communication up factor plays a role here as well?
Absolutely.
If you're almost forcing change though as a company?
Yeah, I think again, sometimes people think that, if it has to happen, that's the only way we're going to do it. And again, when it's done to you, that's where you're going to meet your challenge. That's where you're going to have resistance. And I think
so it's similar to the sales side, I suppose. Go in there and help people feel like they've come up with the idea to change, and then they'll
Exactly, that's right.
Very nice, great tips. We'll be back next week with Marcella Davis. Thanks so much.
Thank you, thanks.